You guys, I just couldn't stay away from this knife. Do you remember a few weeks back I did a review of the Drunken, the Capara, and the Spidey Chef, and I laid all three of them out here. I'm probably on this here mat, and I talked about how they were all kind of from the same design. Well, confession, I no longer own a Capara, and I do not yet own a Spidey Chef. So, of the three that I sat here and I talked about, I now have my own Drunken. That's right. I went out and I found myself a Drunken, and I am tickled pink about this knife. I think this knife has truly, truly been overlooked by the community for several legitimate reasons and some not as legitimate reasons. So I want to talk real quick about the fingerprints I've got on my blade that I couldn't wipe off before I shoot. I need to fire my assistant. Anyway, I'm not going to be deterred by that. Let's just continue on. Let's soldier on. Let's get through it together. I know you guys believe in me. I believe in you guys too. What do I love about this knife? I love the geometry on every stinking piece of this knife. I love the way it feels in my hand. I love the grip that I get on the knife. I love the edge on the blade and how it is in such a great position to cut things. I love the tip and how sharp it is. I love S90V steel. Guys, S90V is so good. It's so good. You don't have to sharpen it. It doesn't stain. It's pretty tough. It's great. It's a fantastic steel. And I love Spyderco's stonewash finish. Their stonewash is so cool because it looks smoky, like a smoky mirror, but it's actually shiny. And I'm not sure how they do it. I'd kind of like to know. It's like finding out your favorite cookie recipe. So I don't know. There's something satisfying about knowing about it. But I really, really, really like this blade style. And the stonewash finish is just killer. The milling that went into the titanium is really, really terrific. This Drunken, they call it Drunken, of course, the Drunken swirl that's on the titanium is also echoed on the carbon fiber. I mean, come on, this is killer. It looks so good. It shimmers. Just a fantastic looking knife. I like the back spacer, the way that it tapers like it's another blade. It just looks really good. I'm thankful that it doesn't have a gigantic lanyard tube in the back of it. We just have a nice little thing here. So we can say that it's there, but it's probably not going to get used much. Like a trunk on a Ferrari, yeah, it's got a trunk, but I mean, what are you going to put in it? This knife runs on washers, but you wouldn't know it. It feels so good when it opens. It's nice and smooth. Very easy to open and close. We have a lock bar insert, which is, I think a lock bar insert's important on a Taichung Spyderco. I've played with too many now where they didn't have it and the knife was unsatisfying when you try to lock and unlock it. It would get stuck. Or another thing I've noticed on, say, a Techno, is if you do this, the knife is actually very, very difficult to unlock because you've wedged the lock bar so far deep into the knife it doesn't want to unlock. And that's not right. It shouldn't do that. When you carry this in your pocket, the knife is a pleasure to carry because it's so very thin. This is a very thin knife, guys. I need to start calipering these so I can tell you the measurements actually, but what they are exactly. But this knife is very thin in the pocket. So when you put it in your pocket, it really sort of blends in. I was carrying it today on some shorts. I was wearing lightweight shorts, and it didn't ever feel like it was clunking around in my pocket, if you know what I mean. So everything I've told you about so far is sort of my love letter to the Drunken. So Bill, you did good. Thank you. I love this knife. So now we need to get to the one thing that I might go on a rant about for the next 15 minutes, and that's the pocket clip. This pocket clip, I remember seeing all sorts of reviews of this knife when it came out, and I was getting upset with all the reviewers because they wouldn't stop talking about the pocket clip. So I am now going to let you guys know that I am going to be a hypocrite for the next 10 minutes. I hope you bear with me. But this pocket clip is really terrible in several ways. Number one, probably the most important way, is that none of you wear blue jeans or pants or shorts or anything that is so thin that it will fit under that clip. For the life of me, I can't figure out. Now, perhaps the person that designed this clip carries their pocket knife in like their shirt pocket, like a pocket protector. That would explain it. If you wore this in a pocket protector, let me know. I'd love to talk to you about that. It would make sense because there's so little clearance there that you can't get anything under this clip. So that's a huge, huge problem. Second problem with this clip, this tip is not dangerous, but it's definitely ridiculous. And the way that it pokes way up like that, it's going to catch on stuff. You're going to catch this on your seatbelt. Being left-handed, when I carry knives in my left pocket, getting in the driver's seat of a car, if I'm not mindful of my seatbelt as I get in and I pull it and put it on, it's not uncommon for me to catch my pocket clip on my seatbelt, and I've bent many clips that way. So thankfully I'm good at bending titanium, so I just put it back. But that's not something you want to think about on a knife like this that has a street price of $450, give or take. So that's kind of weird. Lastly, my third gripe about the clip is the fact that the clip rides 100% on the lock bar. So if you are squeezing here as you try to open the knife, you're going to put pressure on the lock bar. It's going to put pressure on the blade, and the blade's not going to want to open. Okay, so now right-handed. Where are my fingers? My fingers are on the clip. I could, I suppose, train myself to put my fingers way back here, but that's not how I hold a knife. I don't want to have to do that. There's no reason why the clip can't be load bearing. If this was even just like 2 degrees more that way, then at least a portion of it would sit on the frame rather than on the lock itself. That would solve the problem. So why that was overlooked, I don't know. Not too sure. I don't know. I do forgive that because this is ultimately what I care most about. Is I care about the cutting experience when I use the knife, and I care about deployment, and I care about comfort while carrying the knife, because I do own knives that are not comfortable to carry. And man, there's no more bigger bummer in my mind than buying an EDC knife and then not being able to DC it, you know. Many Spydercos have a giant swell over top of the hole in order to accommodate the hole. On this knife, they've figured out how to make it all nice and streamlined. I think they probably started with the spine and then worked backwards for the rest of the blade shape, and then from that came the handle, if I had to guess. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think I might make some t-shirts that say I could be wrong, because I've been saying that a lot in this video. But that's the nice thing about opinions, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm just recording down some opinions. You guys can you can agree or disagree, and I'm willing to admit when my opinion is garbage, and sometimes they are. So all that being said, I am in love with this knife. I think it's a wonderful knife. I think that the grip and the feel of it in my hand is terrific. I do believe that if I compare this knife to the Spidey Chef, they're so similar in their shape and in their function. It's kind of a toss-up about basically budget. If you like the Spidey Chef experience and you want to kind of keep it lean and mean in terms of affordability, Spidey Chef is nothing to sneeze at. It's a phenomenally nice knife. It's going to give you the same cutting experience as this, more or less, from a very, very good steel and titanium, all titanium handles. If you like the little things and you appreciate the little upgrades, such as the blade finish, the blade steel, the carbon fiber, the more 3D carve on the handle, the Drunken pattern that's engraved in there, lock bar insert, just this is a more refined knife. So nothing wrong with the Spidey Chef, nothing wrong with the Drunken. So I just encourage you to try them both and see what you think. One great thing about the Drunken, it's a great thing, is that it seems to have been overlooked a lot by a lot of people. So I'm excited, for me personally, I'm excited to have found it and discovered it so late, because I got something new and fun to play with. That's fun for me. So I'm excited about that. And I hope you guys get the chance to check one out as well. So if you like what you see and you want to talk more about knives, come on over and join us at the knife group. We're called the Millie Paramilitary 2 Para 3 Club. We are on Instagram and we are on Facebook. So there's our little Instagram handle. We'd love to have you. We don't just talk about Spydercos, we talk about all knives. It's a group that's for people who are passionate about knives. You can come and you can be a part of it and join the experience. The Instagram account is full of lots of pretty stuff to look at. The Facebook account is where we really go in depth in conversations and have really great interactions with everybody. So hope you join us. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good night.